If Goku were to be raised by Whis from the moment he left Planet Vegeta, well, I think by the time we got to someone like Majin Buu, stuff would have been so much crazier than it is now. In the last episode of our What If Goku Was Raised by Whis saga, Kid Buu actually beat Kid Goku. Goku may have already unlocked Ultra Instinct to an extent, but against the chaos that was Majin Buu, he still lacked the, I guess, necessary base stats to outdo or even outlast him. He eventually gulped down on his own ego and convinced Whis to train him for real. This led to the both of them spending 5 whole complete days in the Room of Spirit and Time. 5 days in this room, of course, equate to about 5 years in the real world. Goku's biological age had gone from 7 to 12, and this is going to be our way of kind of allowing Goku to catch up a little bit in age to Vegeta and Broly. It also means that he's now a year older than Raditz, funnily enough. Anyways, Kid Buu is currently on his way to Earth at an insanely fast speed. He's already destroyed Pluto and is desperately searching for more, I guess, personal amusement to just blow up along the way. Of course, if you guys haven't already, definitely be sure to go check out the first 3 parts of What If Whis was raised by, not raised by, but What If Whis raised Goku if you haven't already. Otherwise, most of the context will probably be up in the air for you. As for the story from here on out, let's jump right in. So as Broly informs the other Saiyans, being Nappa, Raditz, and Vegeta, about an unstoppable force that is making its way towards them, and keep in mind all these guys are still kids at this point, Whis and Goku have just exited the Room of Spirit and Time. Whis checks the whereabouts of Buu through his orb and realizes that there isn't really any time left to waste now. However, Buu was already here. About 5 million or so years ago, this same entity traversed the universe and destroyed countless galaxies. To him, the distance between Earth and Pluto might as well just be insignificant. Broly slowly catches on to this fact as well. "What's up, Broly? Why are you looking so stressed?" "Who's coming?" Raditz asked. "Someone strong. They're really strong. I don't think we can beat them," Broly replies. "Alright, calm down, Broly. It might just be Raditz's brother that Vegeta spoke of earlier. That guy's pretty strong too," Nappa adds. "No, I can feel this too. Kakarot's energy was much more refined. This one is too chaotic, and it's difficult to pinpoint where it is exactly. If my intuition is right, it may already be on the planet," Vegeta states. Sure enough, Buu had already landed on the planet, and he's at the South Pole. He came here in search of Goku's energy, but of course, Goku isn't here yet, which is why Buu gets a little confused and also ends up getting distracted by something flashing in the distance. Meanwhile, Broly's intuition screams, telling him that he needs to transform and do it now. He does exactly that, and this gives Buu the reminder he needed of the transformation he saw when Goku countered his energy attack. It was the same exact type of energy. Buu would just grin, thinking he's finally found Goku's whereabouts, and having realized what he came here for, he immediately launches himself and reaches Broly's family farm in a split second. Now, he once again feels a little confused because this individual in front of him is definitely not Goku, but this is Buu, so who honestly cares? Buu was ready to fight. Broly wastes no instance in being the first one to attack. He propels himself with the intention of grabbing Buu. The latter was a lot smaller, so Broly knows that if he can just get his hands on him, he'll have the advantage. This was a lesson he remembered from the worst martial arts academy. Majin Buu would excitedly anticipate whatever it is Broly is scheming next. He honestly doesn't care. He even lets himself get grabbed and then blown to bits by Broly's energy blast, just for shits and giggles. Raditz, Nappa, and Vegeta all rejoiced, thinking this was it. Broly had seemingly won, but what these Saiyans failed to realize is that this is Majin Buu we're talking about. Long ago in the past, Frieza's father even told him that there are 2 individuals that he must absolutely never step up against: the God of Destruction Beerus and Majin Buu. However, these Saiyan kids didn't have a clue. Confused and afraid, all they can do is watch and observe as Buu immediately starts piecing himself together, and it appears as though the battle hasn't even begun yet. Luckily for them, before they realize the true extent of the horror that Majin Buu is capable of, Goku and Whis show up. Oh, good. There are still 5 Saiyans in the universe, Whis states. He's relieved that Buu hasn't killed any of the other Saiyans yet. Goku looks at Broly and instinctively acknowledges this guy as a real fighter. Regardless of the fact that Broly right now can't even compare to himself in power, Goku's conscience still chose to see Broly as a real fighter, and he can sense something lying dormant in Vegeta as well. All of you guys step back. This guy is mine, Goku states as he then enters Super Saiyan. Raditz looks at Vegeta and Vegeta would nod, hence confirming to everybody that this kid right here is indeed the Kakarot they were looking for. Whoa, so my brother can use Super Saiyan 2. You were right, Vegeta, Raditz says. No, what I saw last time was different. It was much more eloquent and definitely more imposing. I guess Kakarot right now is on a whole new plane. Who would have guessed, Vegeta replies. In their perspective, Goku is so much stronger than them that there isn't even any room for envy or insecurity, just simple, pure admiration. Broly as well chose to let go of his Super Saiyan transformation after he saw Goku transform. You ready? He asked Buu as he begins taking a couple of steps forward, and of course Buu would just reply with his usual making a bunch of animal noises. Goku would approach him for an attack, and oddly enough, Buu lets him get a clean punch in. He's planning on shrugging off Goku's attacks like it's nothing, and he does start laughing right after he experiences the full weight of that punch, and yet, about 10 or 20 seconds later, Buu would begin to catch a nosebleed. Fast forward another couple of seconds, and he begins to cough up blood now. Unlike last time when Goku could do little to no damage even with his version of Ultra Instinct, he is now able to fatally wound Buu. This is what 5 years of training with Whis can do to even a preteen. Though it looks like Whis has something to say. You know, Goku, Majin Buu isn't someone you can defeat by brute force. You'll have to completely vaporize every cell of his being with power potent enough to set the entire planet ablaze, he states. Yeah, I know, but I don't really want to destroy this planet. I figured I'd just take it nice and easy for right now, Goku replies. Still, why didn't you start off with Ultra Instinct? I'm curious. Isn't Buu the perfect opponent to master that power, Whis asks? I mean, yeah, you're right, Whis, but I also gotta harness the power of being a Saiyan, right? Otherwise, I'll probably never be able to beat you, Goku replies. And this will cause Whis to chuckle a little bit. This kid is still hell-bent on eventually defeating an angel for whatever reason. To the point where we could probably say that Goku at this point in time is just using Majin Buu as a stepping stone. Impressive, kid. Nice one, Whis comments. Going back to the battle now, Goku and Buu are exchanging blows like there's no tomorrow. They're fighting pretty high up in the sky right now because Goku didn't want to needlessly disrupt the sea tides. But when you have a battle of this level going on, it's honestly hard to not affect the surroundings at all. But kudos to Goku for thinking about the planet first. Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa are just lost for words. It's like a scene from a dream. Only a few days ago, they were still a slave to Frieza, and now they're witnessing one of their own engaging in this level of combat? Goku's larger-than-life presence inspires hope in the hearts of Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa. It was surreal enough to make one question everything. Broly was also amazed, but his mind was somewhere else entirely. As he observed Goku's movements, he pictures himself fighting this guy at some point in the future. Meanwhile, the battle was really hitting up, and Buu would finally land a kick on Goku so hard that it launches him out of the atmosphere. Goku would then enter Ultra Instinct to kind of cope with the lack of air and space and quickly goes back to the atmosphere, but Buu is nowhere to be found. Did he run away? Definitely not, Goku wonders. Goku would use his boosted senses to inspect the entire planet for Buu's whereabouts, and he quickly realizes that this pink bastard is back in the South Pole for some reason. Apparently he got a little distracted and he went back to uncover what that light flash was about a little while ago. Goku was still dealing with the overbearing heat of entering the atmosphere once again, and rather than going back to the farm, he just shifts directions entirely and lands on the South Pole right in front of Majin Buu. Buu is visibly annoyed at this point. Come on, stop making that face. We're in the middle of a fight right now, Goku says, but Buu slaps him away and continues walking in the direction of that light flash. Now Goku was kind of curious himself. There was definitely something over there. He walks towards it with Majin Buu, obviously a couple of yards behind him, but Whatever was attracting their attention before is no longer there now. Conveniently, this just snaps Buu right back into the fight and their battle begins once more. And this time, Goku knows exactly how he can damage Majin Buu. He unleashes his Super Saiyan state and catapults himself right towards Buu. But before he lands a blow, he goes one step further and enters Super Saiyan 2. Then, in that heightened state, he lands a destructive kick on Buu's neck. Now it's Goku who sends Majin Buu flying out of the atmosphere. Seeing this as his opportunity to finally dust Majin Buu into nothingness, Goku would maintain his Super Saiyan state, but this is when he would also enter Ultra Instinct. This strange form would put an unusual strain on his body that he had never felt before, this being the first time he had ever even attempted something like this. But this would give him the necessary adrenaline rush, power, and speed to instantly catch up to Buu. Right then, at that almost insignificant moment in time, Goku would create a baseball-sized orb of energy above his head that instantly grows to proportions larger than a super spirit bomb. Suddenly, it's like the Earth had two suns. Buu couldn't escape the colossal nature of Goku's attack. It completely envelops him and begins to dissolve every fiber of his existence. Goku would watch his attack just vaporize Majin Buu into nothingness, and then he would simply just choose to head back, flying off kind of like how he did after he smoked Frieza on Namek the final time. His job was done. Whis was still back at the farm with the others, but he was able to show the entire battle to the Saiyans on his crystal orb. As they watched Majin Buu be disintegrated, the Saiyan kids would rejoice, but Whis would simply tell them, not quite yet. When Goku was about to go down to the farm, he notices it too. He thought now that the energy bomb had been released and Buu is being dissolved in real time, everything should be sorted out, but I guess logic be damned, because instead of letting the energy blast distort his existence and just destroy him already, Majin Buu absorbed it. He absorbs the entire energy bomb, spits it out, and then throws it right back at Goku. This would only give Goku a mere instance to plan his next move. He would look down and see that Whis obviously has no intention of stepping in here. So what are you gonna do about this, Goku? His psyche begins to speak to him. Do you plan on dying to your own attack? Are you gonna let this planet and your Saiyan brothers be completely destroyed? And even then, what of Majin Buu? Goku had no time to weigh any of these options. All he could think about right now is facing that energy bomb that was headed his way, and he lets his own body tank it all. If he were to step out of the way, the Earth would have been completely destroyed and everything on it. There was no other way to go about it. Goku had to use his own body to shield the planet. He does it consciously though. Soon, the energy from the bomb would dissipate the moment it hits Goku, and when the dust would clear, neither Goku nor the energy bomb are anywhere to be seen. What happened to Kakarot? I can no longer sense his presence, Vegeta asks. Broly was wondering the same thing, but he still kept looking at the spot in the sky where Goku was a moment ago. But this is when a single bolt of lightning would strike right in front of them, and the entire sky clears up. They're positioned right in front of the sun. Someone can be seen waking up. It's Goku. He didn't sacrifice himself, there was no need. I mean, it was his energy to begin with. He instead would use this as fuel to finally complete the autonomous Ultra Instinct. Yeah, at the chronological age of 7, and his biological age being 12, Goku has finally done it. He's achieved that coveted mastery over Ultra Instinct, and with that, he's now ascended to a level of power that Majin Buu couldn't even dream of competing with. But I guess purely for the sake of adding a few more details to the story and to give my power scalers out there a little bit of content too, because believe it or not, I fuck with y'all, alright? I know y'all are in a little bit of a weakened state right now, but I'm here. Tech is here, just remain cool, alright? But this Goku in this story is now at relatively the same level as the Goku who became a Super Saiyan God during the battle against Beerus. Buu has been completely surpassed at this point. No matter how chaotic or unpredictable he may have been, he is nothing in front of an individual who's mastered the primary technique of the angels, who's mastered Ultra Instinct. This is why, for the first time in history, Buu would feel fear. His survival instincts surface and his adrenaline kicks in. He knows that Goku is a danger to him and he has to go, otherwise things are gonna get really inconvenient for him. Goku wouldn't bother trading any more blows with Majin Buu, however. This would only delay the inevitable. Instead, he conjures up another energy bomb, but this one is much stronger than the previous one, and it mirrors an entire galaxy in terms of energy output. Good. You're finally acting like a real fighter, Goku, Whis comments. Majin Buu would begin to panic and then summons an energy attack of his own. It mimics Goku's energy bomb in terms of sheer size, but does it even stand a chance? Well, both of their attacks would go on to collide, and the collision results in the outset of a disgusting amount of energy. The residue alone from a blast of this caliber leads to an explosion that only happens at the end of the life of a star, a gamma ray burst. Still, Goku's energy bomb proceeds to devour Buu's attack, and it even begins to grow bigger in size. It would also completely swallow up that gamma ray burst and continues hurtling towards Majin Buu. And that was it. Buu was completely out of options. In front of him is a level of energy potency that he can't even conceive. He can't run away, he can't dodge, and he can't counter. As all of this is happening, Goku would even wonder for a moment if maybe it'll be a good idea to spare Buu's life. I mean, real fighters like him aren't just lying around everywhere. He could be a good training partner. But still not the best idea. I mean, after spending so much time with Whis in the God Realm, this version of Goku is a lot smarter than what we usually give him credit for. What he personally wants is no excuse for incompetence. So Goku would allow Buu's existence to be devoured by his energy, and just like that, the chaos that had terrorized the universe since the dawn of time and space had finally been vaporized. Goku would then teleport back to Earth and ask Whis, well, what do you think? How long until I can challenge Lord Beerus? Settle down, not quite yet. I mean, after all that, just relax and take it easy. I have an idea. How about I let you hang around with these other Saiyans here on Earth for a while, Whis asks. To which Goku would reply, no thanks. Are you sure, Whis asks? I know you acknowledge this Broly guy is a real fighter. You could use him as a training partner. The other Saiyans could learn a lot from you as well, Whis states. Fine, I guess you do have a point, and I do want to learn more about being a Saiyan, but how long though? I mean, when are you gonna come pick me back up, Goku asks. I'll return to review the outcome in a few years, Whis says as he looks at his staff. I expect most of you should be able to stay alive until that point. Bye-bye now, Whis says, and then he just straight up vanishes. Well, I guess it's just us now, Goku says as he turns around and looks at the other Saiyans. But for some reason, he couldn't help but shake the last words that Whis spoke. Review the outcome? What does he mean most of us should live? But I guess Goku couldn't worry too much about it right now because his stomach was rumbling, so he took the rest of the Saiyans and they went to go gather some food. Now about that light flash from earlier that was distracting both Buu and Goku that they saw in the South Pole. Well, this would have belonged to someone very familiar to all of us. Dr. Gero. And it's basically a router that catches DNA samples of extraterrestrial species in the area. The first flash they saw was when it took a record of Majin Buu's DNA originally, and then it would flash again to record Goku's. Now, Dr. Gero himself wasn't present at that underground lab, but when he visits a week later, he's amazed, downright bewildered by this new data. It's perfect. No, this is beyond perfect. This is greater than anything I could have imagined, down to the last minute detail. With this, I could create the most perfect life form to ever exist, rivaled by no one, Dr. Gero laughs. Meanwhile, Goku is currently training Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa on how to transform into a Super Saiyan. You guys kinda suck, he says, for the 100th time since he took them on. Broly, on the other hand, is currently repairing the farm. As for Dr. Gero, well, the record and discovery of Majin Buu's DNA might be the single greatest and most dangerous breakthrough Android technology could ever even hope to come across. I mean, he could literally 100 times his productivity. And by proxy, the time left until the emergence of that ultimate android would go from well over a decade to around only 900 days.